Welcome to another video. Today we're going to look at a role that I saw on a Ludus Discord server. So let's look for that role. So there is the role area of Ludus. And if you scroll down, there's all sorts of fun roles in here. And let me see if I can find it. Guac. Hey, there it is, guacamole. So basically install guacamole on a Linux in a Ludus range and some optional configuration settings. So let's just click into here. And here is the GitHub for this. Looks like this is an Ansible collection. So that is fantastic. And we will need to run a few things to get this going. Looks like it even comes with an example Ludus range config. All right. The host name I think is missing from this piece, but let's go ahead and deploy this range. So first, here's our Ludus environment. I'm just going to take advantage of this particular or a particular Ludus range that's already here. So back to the role, guacamole. Here's the range config. I'm just going to copy this. And we'll see where we're at. So let's pull up the back end. Here is the Ludus server on the back end. So if we do, let's say, I think I already have this. So Guac, AD. So if I cat that out, I created something already. So I just added my own flavor to it, which are these areas. And you'll see the roles are added for the guacamole Linux server on this VM using Ubuntu 24.04. Then we'll go into the roles vars, so the guacamole connection. The name has to match your range ID. So here's my range ID. Those will match. And same with host name. That's got to match. And this is going to try to connect to the domain that I called out up above. It's going to use username. It's going to use this password. And then we're going to go to do a Windows 10. And again, it has to be this very specific host name. And there are all the things. So that looks like it. So if we do Ludus range config, actually, let me see. I think I got rid of my old range. So I want to like see what I have. So this is my old range. So let me grab that. And we'll cancel out of it. Move this back down a bit. And we'll do Ludus range config set f user. Well, we need the file. Guac AD with a user. That user. Okay. Ludus range deploy with that user. Okay, it's going to start deploying. So if I go over here to the Proxmox, here it is cloning VM 100. So there it is down here. And it's going to start creating the Debian. So if you want, you can watch it through the GUI like this. As each one spins up, you'll notice, clone, start, so forth and so on. There is another way to look at this, and that is Ludus range logs f for the user. Ooh. So that will give us the play-by-play of what Ansible's doing on the background. So it's changing the IP address for the host. So we go back here, summary, It's rebooting, so you're not going to get the IP, but it has no IP right now. And now it does. This one's the DHCP. It'll change it later to what it needs to be set as. So if we go back here, I think it actually mentioned it briefly. It might have did it so fast. Another great thing about Ludus. Yep, it did it so fast. So pretty much all routers in all ranges have the last octet of .254. So this was already changed, so that's great. Looks like now we're spinning up the DC. Usually create a DC and that kind of thing. It takes about less than an hour or so, I think. At least it used to. So if I do console, I can kind of see that it's not quite done because it doesn't have the banner yet. I can also go in here, and again, I can wait. So it looks like it's waiting for WinRM. If I wanted, and I wanted to troubleshoot and be like, why isn't WinRM like up? I can do PowerShell, open this up, and then I can do like get service WinRM. And then it'll tell me that it's running. If it's not running, then you want to start service WinRM. And then that'll start it. And then this would go, past what we saw. But this did already, or actually, no, it didn't already. Waiting for the host control interface. So sometimes Windows just needs some time, or sometimes it needs to be rebooted to take effect. So let's, it's still, let's see what the IP says. So 105. Well, that's interesting. Let's see what it was doing before that. Yeah, it's just waiting. So I'm just going to do this just to speed things up. Then I'm going to look back here. Back at Proxbox. All right, it's up. And it looks like it moved past. So now it's going for things. So there's a quick troubleshooting step if you're impatient like myself. Looks like we're on to Win 10 and we're on to the Guacamole server. Okay, looks like it's acquiring the IP address, so that's already done. So fast. So if we go back up here, we do summary, we can see the IP address. Same with this one. I don't remember what it's set to. If I want, I can do all right, so it looks like DC is 11, Windows 10 is 21, Guacamole is 50, and the IP address for, that's it. All right, that is it. Let's see. So if I go back here, and we notice 21, so that was one of them. DC 11, that was another one of them, and this should be 50. Yep, 50. Cool. So let's do a Ludus range status. Actually, let me just do this piece right here. Still deploying. That makes sense. Looking at the logs, it looks like it's the hostname change. It's going to reboot. So if we go here, whoops, Win 10, is that the one that's rebooting? I don't know which one's rebooting. Is it already done? Looks like maybe it's waiting for both of these at this point. So I go back here. Get service when RM running. That one's fine. Get service when RM. Oh, that's stopped. So let's start that. All right, now it's running. Let's go back here. These things not reboot. Restart. Restart. That's coming back up. Oh, looks like everything went through. So if we do the Ludus range status, error. Oh. All right, that's fine. It's probably because I was messing with it so much. So it looks like the DC. Bad HTTP response, something to that effect. So we'll just, since it's done deploying, we can just deploy it again. And anything that got done will just be skipped. So be like, okay, skipping, right? So if we go back here, just look. So the backgrounds still have not changed. However, I don't even know if it's at that point. So let's see here. Configuring IP, gathering the facts. So this is Ansible, so it's going to make configurations where it needs to. It just makes sure the state is what the state needs to be, and not really change anything than that. So it's not going to add another DC. It's not going to add another Windows 10 just because you rerun this. I'm just impatient. Looks like it's detecting the windows, getting network interfaces. So let's move right along. All right, looks like it's rebooting after the domain creation. Sweet, let's go ahead and look. And indeed, the DC is doing that. What's Windows 10 look like? Not much. But yeah, that's doing that. It's gonna take a little while, but before that, it created a domain, set DNS, disabled the password policy, installed Active Directory, installed PowerShell AD tools, all that fun stuff. All right, we're back, and let's see. It looks like it took 13 minutes. Okay, that's cool. Let's see what the status is. Success. Awesome. All right, so let's look over here. Here's guacamole. So you may ask yourself, well, how do I get to it? So let me scroll up. I think in here somewhere is, there it is. So I can go here and I can use guac admin. So if we go up here, paste this. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Let's try that again. All right, let's go here. And then Guac admin, Guac admin. Yeah. Okay, cool. So it looks like we can get to the DC by clicking on that. See, there it is. I'm going to get out. Then we can go to Windows 10. And another user, I'll just say yes. Must mean the Ludus user is logged in. All right, cool. So really that's it. That's how we automate Guacamole via a Ludus config. So check it out. That's a cool role added here. And also, if you need more information on it, I actually do have a Ludus range area, and I put config so that I remember them later here. So like this, here's the Guac AD, and in there I also have, hey, add this Ansible collection, set the range, deploy it, status errors. Hey, this is the message you'll get. You'll obviously have a different IP address, and you'll most likely have a different user ID than me. However, it's all nice and tied up in a bow for you here. So with that, enjoy another Ludus feature.